to our weekly Bhakti Vaibhav class. So in the last week, we discussed about the characteristics of Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti and Kala. How Ishvara is situated beyond three modes, completely independent, etc. etc. And Ishvara, for the purpose of material creation, accepts Prakriti. And accepting Prakriti, by glancing upon Prakriti, he impregnates Jiva into the womb of Prakriti. As a result of that, Jiva comes in touch with Prakriti. And Jiva develops a misidentity based on the body in which the Jiva is situated. Parabhidhyanena, and thinks that I am the doer of all the activities that are being done by Prakriti, Kartritvam, and thinks that I am the controller, everything that is existing in this world, Ishatvam. That misidentification, that wrong conception leads to material bondage in this material world. So this is what Lord Kapila said. Then Mother Devoti asked, can you please elaborate this concept? How? It appears that the Jiva's attachment to Prakriti is always permanent. How can Jiva can be liberated from the clutches of Prakriti? Can you please speak about that? So then Lord Kapila is going to elaborate about all these activities. Please tell me the characteristics of Prakriti and the Supreme Lord elaborately. So there, then he defines Prakriti. Prakriti has got different names. Avyakta, Pradhana, Prakriti and Nitya. उसका definition दिया था. And then, by Lord's glance upon Prakriti, Prakriti produces 24 elements. 5, 5, 10, 4. 5 Panchamahabhutas, 5 Tanmatras, 10 senses, and 4 Antakaranas. So all these things are mentioned one by one. They are defined. And then the 25th element is Kala. Kala has two functions to perform. Kala agitates the gunas and instigates fear in the living entity. They are the two qualities of Kala. And the Kala is nothing but the Supreme Lord himself, who resides as Paramatma inside the core of the heart and who resides as time outside all of us. So these are the different qualities, characteristics and functions of Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti and Kala. And today we will see the Prakriti's byproducts, the 24 in number. What are the qualities and characteristics of these 24 material elements, starting with Mahatattva. So the topic for today's discussion. So Hare Krishna, everyone is able to hear me clearly?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes, Prabhuji. So we'll continue with text number 19 onwards. Daivat Shubhita Dharminyam
Daiva Shubhita Dharminyam
Swasyam Yonau Parapuman
Satyam Yonau Parapuman
Adatta Viryam Sasuta
Adatta Viryam Sasuta
Mahattvam Hiranmayam.
Mahattvam Hiranmayam. Translation. After the Supreme Personality of Godhead impregnates material nature with his internal potency, material nature delivers the sum total of the cosmic intelligence, which is known as Hiranmaya. This takes place in material nature when she is agitated by the destinations of the conditioned soul.
The Supreme Lord, by glancing upon Prakriti, placed the Jivas into the womb of Prakriti, whose gunas were, as a result of that impregnation, the three gunas of Prakriti were agitated by the influence of time. And eventually, in due course of time, Prakriti gave birth to the brilliant Mahatattva. Mahatattvam Hiranmayam. As the Lord impregnates Pradhana with Kala and Jiva, Jiva goes along with Karma and Swabhava. Agitated by time, Prakriti gives rise to Mahatattva. The Lord delivered the Jiva into the manifest abode of the Gunas, agitated by time. Prakriti then gives birth to brilliant Mahatattva. Mama yonir Mahat Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham Sambhava Sarvabhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. This is a Gita shloka from chapter 14, text number 3 or 4, I suppose. So basically, by glancing upon Prakriti, Mahavishnu impregnates Prakriti with Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti. As a result of interaction of three modes with Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti, first Mahatattva is produced. And what is the nature of Mahatattva? It is very brilliant. Mahatattva itself is very brilliant. And next verse talks about the different characteristics of Mahatattva. Vishwam Atmagatam Vyanjan.
Vishwam Atmagatam Yanjan.
Kutasto Jagadankurah.
Kutasto Jagadankurah.
Svachejasa pibat tivram.
Swatejasa pibatvi tivram.
Atma prasvapanam tamaha.
Atma prasvapanam tamaha. Thus, after manifesting variegatedness, the effulgent Mahatattva, which contains all the universes within itself, which is the root of all cosmic manifestations, and which is not destroyed at the time of annihilation, swallows the darkness that covered the effulgence at the time of dissolution.
Yeah. Mahatattva, the seed of the universe, Jagadankura, without disturbance, manifesting the universe, held within itself, followed up by its radiance, the intense darkness which had covered it since the time of destruction. So the understanding is, from the time of this previous destruction to till now, the entire space was completely dark. So when Mahatattva produced, the entire space became bright, because Mahatattva itself is bright. And then this Mahatattva is like Jagarankuram, the first sprout of the seed of the universe. So eventually, this sprout can transform into the entire tree of the universe. That's why it is called Jagarampuram. The seed or the source of the entire universe. Eventually, what is going to appear? So that is Mahatattva. Mahatattva consumes the darkness of dissolution through its effulgence. The Mahatattva manifests the material elements, starting with Ahankara, which was situated within it in a subtle form. So everything, all the other elements are as of now situated within Mahatattva only. They are to manifest. That's why Mahatattva is called as Jagadankuram. Mahatattva is fixed without agitation or inertness, unlike the mind. It was covered by darkness, which at the time of destruction merged Mahatattva in Prakriti. So basically, Mahatattva is in stable and pure condition. And unlike the mind is always fickle, but Mahatattva is stable. And till now, the entire space was covered by darkness, but when Mahatattva appeared, the place became bright, because Mahatattva itself produces good brightness. So basically, the same Mahatattva, what are some of his characteristics are mentioned. And next verse talks about more, but here there are some references from our what is it? Different scriptures. This is known as Sankhyakarika. Some information about Mahatattva. इति एषा प्रकृति कृतो महदादि विशेष भूत पर्यन्तः प्रति पुरुष विमोक्षार्थं स्वार्थ स्वार्थ इव परार्थ आरंभः. It says the creation is brought by the Prakriti consisting of Mahatattva down to the gross elements and their components. This creation is for the release of every soul. Prati Purusha Vimokshartham. Why the creation happened? Creation, the purpose of creation is meant to liberate each and every living entity. And also, this is for the enjoyment and for the release of soul. So it is for both. Prati Purusha Vimokshartham Swartha Iva Parartha Arambaha. So to fulfill one's material desires and also to attain liberation. These are the two purposes of material creation. For these purposes, Mahatattva appears from Prakriti. So that is understanding. There is one more verse from, I think, same book only. Adhyavasayo buddhir dharma jnanam viraga aishwaram satvikam yetad rupam tamasam asmad viparyatam. Determination is buddhi. The quality of buddhi is determination. Determination is the buddhi, which includes both chitta and intelligence. Virtue, wisdom, non-attachment, and superhuman power constitute its sattvika form. The reverse of these constitute the tamsa form. So determination is the principal quality of chitta, mahatattva, which is called as chitta later on, buddhi or chitta. Virtue, wisdom, non-attachment and superhuman power constitute sattvic form of the chitta. And tamasic form of chitta is no virtue, no wisdom, full attachment, and no superhuman powers. These are some of the abilities of Mahatattva. Because Mahatattva is there as chitta within our body. All of us possess chitta. That chitta is an expansion of Mahatattva. So that Mahatattva first and foremost quality is determination. And other subsequent qualities are virtue, wisdom, non-attachment, superhuman power. When Mahatattva is in good condition. When Mahatattva is contaminated, the qualities will become opposite. So then, next verse says that Sarvam prati upabhogartam yasmat purushasya sadhyati buddhi saivacha vishinasti puna pad pradana purushantaram sukhamam. It says that the materials worked upon by all other organs being presented to buddhi, which bring about enjoyment of the Purusha in all aspects. And the same buddhi reveals to the Purusha the incomprehensible difference between the Prakriti and Purusha. So basically, it is by the help of Mahatattva, who is also called as buddhi here, there are two things happen. It reveals the Supreme Lord or Jivatma and Supreme Lord to oneself, and also it reveals the material enjoyment. In relation to matter, it helps us. It helps on enjoy the material world. In relation to spiritual topics, it helps on understand the Atma and Paramatma. These are the two functions of Mahatattva, which is called buddhi. So sometimes buddhi is taken as chitta, sometimes buddhi is taken as intelligence. When we take buddhi as intelligence, it reveals the material world. When we take buddhi as chitta, it reveals the spiritual world. That is the difference between its two functionalities. So now, this verse talks about the different characteristics of Mahatattva. Yatta sattva gunam swacham
गुणं स्वच्छं
shantam bhagavata padam
शान्तं भगवता पदं
यदाहुर्वासुदेवाख्यं
यदाहुर्वासुदेवाख्यं
चित्तं तन्महदात्मकम्.
चित्तं तन्महदात्मकम्. Translation. The mode of goodness, which is the clear, sober status of understanding the personality of Godhead, and which is generally called Vasudeva or consciousness, becomes manifest in the Mahatattva.
Mahatattva, which is represented by Chitta in the human body and in the body of every living entity, which is predominated by Sattva-guna, Etta Sattva-gunam, which is pure, Swacham, which is peaceful, Shantam, and it is the place of the worship of the Supreme Lord. Bhagavata Padam is also called as Vasudeva, Yadahur Vasudevakyam. So these are the important characteristics of Mahatattva. What are they? Mahatattva is present in each of us as Chitta. Mahatattva is made up of pure goodness. Mahatattva is completely pure. Mahatattva is completely peaceful. And it is the place where one can accomplish the worship of the Supreme Lord. And hence it is called Vasudeva. So it is understood that Lord Krishna appears as a son of Vasudeva because Vasudeva is in pure goodness. Similarly, any person's consciousness is situated in pure goodness. That is where Lord Vasudeva takes birth. So, there is another name for pure goodness is Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva Chetana. That Shuddha Sattva Chetana is also called as Vasudeva consciousness. So, whoever possesses Vasudeva consciousness, in their heart, Lord Krishna manifests his presence. So, that is a general understanding of Mahatattva. Characteristics of Mahatattva and Chitta, which is a representation of Mahatattva in the body of the Jiva. What are the qualities? Atma Sattva Gunam, Swachhatvam, Swacham, Shantam, Bhagavata Padam, Vasudevakyam. So these points are exclusively indicating their nature and characteristics of Mahatattva. It is pure goodness. It is completely pure, completely peaceful. It is the abode where the Supreme Lord can appear, can be worshipped, and thus it's known as Vasudeva. What is well known as Chitta is composed of Mahatattva. It is present in the individual body in the form of Chitta. All of us have Mahatattva as Chitta. It is pure and devoid of passion and other symptoms. It is the place for worshipping the Supreme Lord and is known as Vasudeva. There is one verse comes in the 4th canto of Bhagavatam. The context is like this. When Sati, while talking to Lord Shiva, she is telling, so my dear Lord, you could have got up now. When my father came in, you could have got up. So then my father would not have been offended and nothing would have happened afterwards. So Lord Shiva says, when somebody new person comes, the reason for getting up is to welcome the Paramatma, not the person. The Paramatma who is in the heart of every living entity, when comes, should be welcomed, be received with great respect and honor. So everyone got up to receive the Paramatma in the heart of Daksha, not to Daksha. At the same time, I was already meditating and worshipping my Paramatma in my heart. And the Paramatma in my heart and the heart of your father both are same only. I was already worshipping the Paramatma in my heart. Then there is no need to re-worship same Paramatma who is also in the heart of your grandfather. That's why I did not go. So saying that, Lord Shiva says this verse. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam Yadi Yate Tatra Pumana Pavruta. सत्वे च सत्मिन् भगवान् वासुदेवः यदोक्षजो मे नमसा विधीयते. So this is the verse spoken by Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati, wherein Lord Shiva was telling that the pure Antakarana is called Vasudeva. Pure Antakarana means Antakarana includes Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana. Specifically Chetana, but also other three. When all the four elements are completely pure, that heart is called Vasudeva heart. Vasudeva. It is called Vasudeva, not Vasudeva. Vasudeva Shabditam. Okay? Because there the Supreme Lord appears without coverings. When the heart becomes pure, then Lord makes his appearance. In that Antakarana, I worshipped the Supreme Lord Vasudeva beyond the material senses by offering respects. So that is the understanding. So basically, the pure heart is called as Vasudeva. In that place, one will be able to see and worship the Supreme Lord, who is also known as Vasudeva. Chitta, Ahankara, intelligence and mind have the deities of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Ruddha respectively, who are worshipped for purifying these elements and their effects in contaminated state. Basically, there are four deities from Chaturvyuha. They are considered to be the Aradhya Devatas of four elements. Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana. If at all we are troubled by these four elements, we can worship the respective Devatas and pray for purification and mitigation of the miseries, etc. etc. That is the understanding. Their presiding deities are Lord Vishnu, Rudra, Brahma, and Chandra. Brahma is the deity of Chandra is the deity of mind, Chandra is the deity of intelligence, Ankara is the deity of Rudra is the deity of Ankara, and Vasudeva is the deity of Chitta. In that way. Chitta, deity is Vasudeva, or Lord Vishnu. Sometimes Lord Brahma is Gunotar also considered to be the deity of Chitta. Ankara's deity is Lord Sankarshana. Controlling deity is Lord Rudra. Intelligent, the worshipful deity is Lord Pradyumna. The controlling deity is Brahma. Mind, intelligence, Lord Pradyumna is the worshipful deity. Lord Brahma is the and then mind, Lord Aniruddha, Chandra. Chandra is the present deity, Lord Aniruddha is the worshipful deity. So these four elements have four worshipful deities and four present deities. If at all one has any problem, one can take shelter of these four worshipful deities and pray for the mitigation of difficulties that are offered by this Ajay. So thus, Chitta represents pure Sattva-guna. It is an element of Shuddha Sattva. Ahankara represents Tamoguna. Buddhi represents Rajoguna. Man represents Sattva-guna. So basically when we say Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna means this is the prominent guna and along with that small portion of other gunas. For example, when you say Sattva-guna, 80% Sattva-guna, 10% Rajoguna, 10% Tamoguna. When you say Rajoguna, 10% Sattva-guna, 80% Rajoguna and 10% Tamoguna. So it is generally understood like that. But pure Sattva means there is no contamination of Rajoguna or Tamoguna. So like that. So this is the next verse which talks about the qualities of Chitta, which is nothing but Mahatattva in all of our bodies. All of us have Mahatattva and it is called as Chitta within our personality and its characteristics. Swachhatvam avikaratvam
Svachatvam avikaritvam
Shantatvam iti chetasaha
शान्तत्वम् इति चेतसः
वृत्तिभिर्लक्षणं प्रोक्तम्
वृत्तिभिर्लक्षणं प्रोक्तं
यतापां प्रकृतिपरा
यतापां प्रकृतिपरा. After the manifestation of Mahatattva, these features appear simultaneously as water in its natural state before coming in contact with the earth is clear, sweet, and unruffled. So the characteristics of traits of pure consciousness are complete serenity, clarity, and freedom from distraction.
Chitta is known to have purity, Satchatvam, changelessness, Avikaratvam, peacefulness, Shantatvam, as its qualities by nature, just like the nature of the pure water. So whatever has been said for Mahatattva, the same things are indicated for Chitta also. So Chitta also same thing, because it is the same only, but in our individual body we call it as Chitta, in the cosmic universe we call it as Mahatattva. The qualities like purity are found everywhere in Chitta in the body. Qualities of purity, since it is a reflection of the Lord, devoid of changes such as inaction or agitation, and devoid of passion and other emotions, are known as natural modes of Chitta. It is just like the original nature of water, which has an excellent quality. Because water is completely pure and like it can just thirst, it's a pure water. Pure water without foam or waves is fit to taste and completely peaceful. Just as water from contact with earth and other elements becomes impure, full of foam and waves, etc. So Chitta attached to inferior objects becomes polluted from contact with lower consciousness. So like the Chitta by nature is like a pure water. Just like when water comes in contact with the earth, it becomes muddy. Similarly, the pure consciousness when comes in contact with the matter, it becomes contaminated. So this is how the Chitta becomes contaminated. But we need to purify. That is the purpose of human life. Any questions till now, Hare Krishna devotees?
No, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah.
Prabhuji, in text number 20, you gave some examples from so many shastras, 2 to 3 slokas.
That is Sankhya Karika. That is a book known as Sankhya Karika, which talks about the
Sankhya Karika.
Sankhya Karika.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Yes, Mataji. Haripriya Mataji. Okay, if there are no questions, we'll go ahead. Mahatattvad vikurvanat.
Mahatattvat vikurvanat.
Bhagavad Virya Sambhavat.
Bhagavad Virya Sambhavat.
Kriya Shaktir Ahankaras.
Kriya Shaktir Ahankaras.
Trivida Samapadyata.
Trivida Samapadyata.
Vaikarikas Tejasascha.
Vaikarikas Tajaisascha.
Tamasascha Yato Bhavat.
Tamasascha Yato Bhava.
Manasaschendriyanam cha.
Manasaschendriyanam cha.
Bhutanam matamapi.
Bhutanam makatam api. The material ego springs up from the Mahatattva, which evolved from the Lord's own energy. The material ego is endowed predominantly with the active power of three kinds: good, passionate, and ignorant. It is from these three types of material ego that the mind, the senses of perception, the organs of action, and the gross elements evolve.
From the transformation of Mahatattva, induced by the power of the Supreme Lord, Ahankara, endowed with Jnana, Kriya, and Dravya Shaktis, appear in three forms. So first, by glancing upon Prakriti, Mahatattva appeared, and by further glance after Mahatattva, there appears Ahankara, consisting of three Shaktis: Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Dravya Shakti. Okay, and they are called as Vaikarika, Tejasa, Tamasa. So Jnana Shakti is Vaikarika, Kriya Shakti is Tejasa, Dravya Shakti is Tamasa. From which mind? From Vaikarika, that is from Jnana Shakti, mind comes. From Kriya Shakti, senses will come. And from Dravya Shakti, 5 gross elements appeared. All creation, all of you already read recently. Presentation also happened. So all these 24 elements will be manifested. Mahatattva transforms into Ahankara, which is of three types: Satviki, Rajasic, Satvik, Rajasic, and Tamasic. This verse describes the characteristics before appearance of Ahankara. Kriya Shakti represents also Jnana Shakti and Dravya Shakti, since Ahankara possesses of these three Shaktis. From Vaikarika, Tejasa, and Tamasa Ahankaras arise the mind. From Vaikarika comes mind, from Tejasa comes senses, from Tamasa comes gross elements, respectively. So like that. So basically, first Mahatattva appeared, and then Ahankara appeared, and from Ahankara there will come the mind, senses, and Panchamahabhutas. All those things will appear one by one. So like that. So for Mahatattva, the deity was Vasudeva. And for Ahankara, the deity is Lord Sankarshana. And that Sankarshana is spoken in this verse. Sahasrashirasam Sakshat
Sahasrashirasam Sakshat
Yam Anantam Prachakshate
Yam Anantam Prachakshate
Sankarshanakyam Purusham
Sankarshanakyam Purusham
Bhutendriyamanomayam.
Bhutendriyamanomayam. The threefold Ahankara, the source of the gross elements, the senses and the mind, is identical with them because it is their cause. It is known by the name of Sankarshana, who is directly Lord Ananta with 1,000 heads.
Wow, who is Sankarshana? Situated in Ahankara is the Lord with 1,000 heads, known as Sankarshana. He is also called as Ananta. And this Ahankara is the cause of mind, senses, and gross elements. So like that. The present deity of Ahankara is Lord Sankarshana. The deity to be worshipped is described. If at all one want to become freed from the influence of Ahankara, Bhagavatam says that one should worship Lord Sankarshana so that one can become freed from the concept of Aham Mameti. So like that. Next. Kartrutvam Karanatvam Cha.
Kartrutvam Karanatvam Cha.
Karyatvam Cheti Lakshanam.
Karyatvam Cheti Lakshanam.
Shantagora Vimudatvam.
Shantagora Vimudatvam.
Iti Vasyad Ahankrite.
Iti va syad ahankrite. The false ego is characterized as the doer, as an instrument and as an effect. It is further characterized as serene, active or dull according to how it is influenced by the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance.
The characteristics of Ahankara are its capacity to serve the present deities of the senses and the gross elements, made of 5 gross elements, and to produce peace, passion, and bewilderment of the 3 gunas. Basically, what Ahankara does is, Ahankara produces and takes care of the mind, intelligence, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Panchamahabhutas, 5 Tanmatras. All these elements are produced from Ahankara, and Ahankara also takes care of them. So then, while taking care of all these things, the senses, mind, intelligence, and all, sometimes Ahankara produces peace when we are in the mode of goodness. Sometimes Ahankara produces passion when we are in the mode of passion. And at other time, Ahankara produces bewilderment when we are in deep ignorance. So these are different qualities of Ahankara. Kartutvam, Karyatvam, Karanatvam, Shanta, Gora, Vimudatvam. These are the characteristics of Ahankara. Kartutvam or doership indicates the devatas of the senses. Karanatvam indicates the senses, subtle sense organs. Karyatvam indicates the gross elements. Shanta, Gora, Vimudatvam represents the 3 gunas. Shanta in mode of goodness, Ghora in the passion, and Vimuda in the mode of ignorance. All these things are produced by Ahankara. Abhimano Ahankara. Abhimano Ahankara tasmad Dvivida pravartate sarga ekadashakascha gana tanmatra panchakaschaiva. This is also one more verse from Sankhya Karika. It says, Ahankara is individuality. Ahankara is individuality. Abhimana is Ahankara, or the conceit of the self as separate entity. Here it says that Ahankara is individuality, or the conceit of the conceit of the self as separate entity. Therefrom arises 2 kinds of creation. What are they? 11 senses and 5 tanmatras. The 5 tanmatras are produced from tamasic Ahankara. Out of 11 senses, 10 senses are produced from rajasic Ahankara, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, and the 11th sense, mind, is produced from sattvic Ahankara. So in this way, it is Ahankara which produces mind, 10 senses, and 5 tanmatras. And the nature of the Ahankara is to provide us our individuality as a separate entity. It does not show us who we really are. It gives us a temporary material identity. So like that. So now, because Ahankara is going to produce mind, senses, and Panchamahabhutas along with their properties, now all of them are described along with their characteristics. So we have seen Mahatattva characteristics, and we have seen Chitta characteristics, and we have seen Ahankara characteristics. Now we will see the mind, intelligence, senses, and 5 gross elements and 5 tanmatras. All those elements one by one, their qualities and all will be described one by one. First, mind. Vaikarika dvikurvana.
Vaikarika. Bolo, Prabhuji.
Vaikarika vikurvanam
Manastatvam ajayata.
manastatvam ajayata
Yes sankalpa vikalpabhyam.
yat sankalpa vikalpabhyam
Vartate kama sambhava.
vartate kama sambhava. From the false ego of goodness, another transformation takes place. From this evolves the mind, whose thoughts and reflections give rise to desire. Hare Krishna.
So it says that from the transformation of Ahankara in the Sattva-guna, there appeared the mind. By the mind's general desire for objects, the desire for a particular object and notions concerning it appear. So basically, the mind is produced from Sattva-guna Ahankara, and mind had two characteristics, Sankalpa and Vikalpa. So what do you mean by Sankalpa and Vikalpa? We'll see now. From Ahankara and Sattva appears the mind. Two characteristics of mind. One is general desire to possess the objects in the form of fantasies. That is called Sankalpa. Sankalpa means the mind continuously proposes a desire. I want this, I want this, I want this. These are the general expected desires. Whether mind may say, I want this or I don't want this, something like that, just general. And normally, which we come across, which we see day-to-day basis, so usme say, it will ask something. That is Sankalpa. And desire for specific or particular object is called Vikalpa. Vishesha Rupena Sankalpa is called Vikalpa. So Sankalpa is normal, general desire for general objects. And Vikalpa is for special desire for special objects, some fantasy, etc. etc. That is called Vikalpa. From the mind's general desire to possess objects, desire appears in the form of fantasies, and desire to possess a particular object, Vikalpa, Sankalpa and Vikalpa. So basically, mind has two functions. One function is to store all the experience that we go through. Every day, morning to evening, we go through so many experiences. All experiences are stored in our mind. Similarly, next time, when we come in front of some instigator, some impetus or some instigator, something. So the mind says, oh, take this, get this, don't get this. The general desire based on our presence, where we are, what is there in front of us, accordingly mind will say, take this or don't take this. If you see some devotee, go to him and talk to him, or don't go to him and don't talk to him, something like that. The general desires. And sometimes some unusual thought comes in the mind. That unusual thought is called as Vikalpa. So they are the two important characteristics of the mind. So now, who is the deity of the mind? Deity of the mind, if at all one want to protect oneself from the flickering nature of the mind, one is advised to worship Lord Aniruddha. That is indicated here. Yad vidurhi anuradhyakyam
Yad vidurahai aniruddhakyam
Rushikanam Adishwaram
Rishikanam adhishwaram
Sharadendivara
Taradevindavarashyamam
Samradhyam Yogi Bhishanai.
Samradhyam Yoga Bhishane. Translation. The mind of the living entity is known by the name of Lord Aniruddha, the supreme ruler of the senses. He possesses a bluish black form resembling a lotus growing in an autumn. He is found slowly by the yogis. Hare Krishna.
In the mind is situated the Lord known as Aniruddha. Aniruddha is the worshipable deity of mind. He is the master of the senses. Rushikanam Adishwaram. We say na Lord Rishikesha, Lord Rishikesha. That Rishikesha is Lord Aniruddha. Having the complexion of blue lotus. Sharad Indivara Shamam. What kind of Shama Varna? शरद सीजन में आने वाला इंदिवर जैसा श्यामवर्ण, blue lotus, worshipped quietly by the yogis. And this Aniruddha is worshipped by the yogis within their minds very quietly, since he is the deity of the mind. अपना अपना मन को कंट्रोल में रखते हुए मन का अधिनेता, मन का देवता, इंद्रियों का देवता लॉर्ड ऋषिकेश इज उनका मूल स्वरूप लॉर्ड अधिनेता, लॉर्ड अनिरुद्ध, उनको आराधना करते हैं. So something like that. So the yogis meditate upon Paramatma, who is also known as Anuruddha, within their minds. And the color of this mind, Anuruddha, is Sharad Indivara Shamam. And his qualities are Rushikana Madhishwaram, is the lord of the senses. So like that. So that is about mind. And finally, Buddhi. Mahatattva Chitta is over, Lord Vasudeva. Ahankara, Lord Sankarshana. Mind, Lord Anuruddha. And intelligence, Lord Pradyumna. So it's like that. Taijasastu Vikurvana.
तैजसात्तु विकुर्वाणात्
Buddhi Tattvam Abhusati.
बुद्धितत्त्वम् अबुच्छति
Dravyaspurana Vijnanam.
द्रव्यस्फुरणविज्ञानम्
Indriyanam Anugraha.
इन्द्रियाणाम् अनुग्रहः. By transformation of the false ego in passion, intelligence takes place. O virtuous lady, the functions of intelligence are to help in ascertaining the nature of objects when they come into view, and to help the senses.
So this verse talks about intelligence and its activities. O Devahuti, O Mother Devahuti, from the transformation of Ahankara in Rajoguna, Buddhi, consciousness directed to the manifestation of the objects appeared. It assists the senses. So Dravya Purana Vijnanam, Indriyanam Anugraha. These are the two activities of the Buddhi. The meaning of Dravya Purana Vijnana means Dravya means matter. It is by Buddhi we understand the matter. So what is the nature of the matter? What are the qualities, characteristics and activities of the matter and all? We understand by Buddhi. So basically, it is by Buddhi we understand about 23 elements. 5 gross elements, 5 tanmatras, 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, man, buddhi, ahankara. All the way up to ahankara, we understand with the help of Buddhi. The knowledge about all these things will come by Buddhi. And the senses, the Jnanendriyas are able to perform any activity by Buddhi only. Because Buddhi is their super boss. So like that. From Ahankara in Rajas appears Buddhi. Now, the more detailed roles and responsibilities of Buddhi. What all Buddhi does. So in general, Buddhi ka two activities are Dravya Spurana Vijnanam. It will tell us, it will reveal us the matter. It reveals the characteristics of the matter, and it enables the 5 Jnanendriyas to perform their respective activities. So now, in a detailed way, Samshayota Viparyaso
संशयोऽथ विपर्यासो
Nishaya Smrutireva cha
निश्चयः स्मृतिरेव च
Swapa iti uchyate buddher
स्वापा इति उच्यते बुद्धिर्
Lakshanam Vruttita Pratak.
लक्षणं वृत्तितः पृथक्. Translation: doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory, and sleep, as determined by their different functions, are said to be the distinct characteristics of intelligence.
The characteristics of Buddhi by its various functions are said to be expressing doubt, samshaya, and ascertaining false knowledge, viparyasa, and ascertaining correct knowledge, nishchaya, remembrance, smriti or memory, and finally sleep, swapa. These are all different functions and different characteristics of buddhi. What are they? Samshaya, Viparyasa, Nishaya, Smriti, and Swapa. It's like that. So from the previous verse, the total characteristics are Dravya Spurana Vijnanam, Indriyanam, Anugraha, Samshaya, Viparyasa, Nishaya, Smriti, and Swapa. So what do you mean by all these things? Dravya Spurana Vijnanam means it reveals the objects. So Buddhi reveals the nature of the 23 elements. Buddhi reveals the objects made up of 23 elements. Indriyana Manugraha means it assists the senses. Samshaya means expressing doubt about something. What if you have little doubt about something? The Buddhi tells, okay, kuch gadbad hai idhar. Something like that. Viparyasa means ascertaining incorrect knowledge. Nishaya is ascertaining correct knowledge. Smriti is remembrance and Swapa is sleep. Having a proper sleep or improper sleep is also by Buddhi only. Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra he says that Pramana Viparyaya Vikalpa Nidra Smritiya. These are the functions of Buddhi. So same but different names are used. The functions of Buddhi are ascertaining correct knowledge. Pramana means ascertaining correct knowledge. That is Nishaya. In Bhagavatam Nishaya, in Yoga Sutra it is Pramana. Viparyasa here and Viparyasa there both are same. So Viparyasa is ascertaining false knowledge. And Vikalpa is expressing doubt. Here we have Samshaya. Samshaya or Vikalpa both are same. Nidra is sleep, same. Smriti is memory, they are same. So 1-2 words are a little bit here and there, but everything is same. To make a distinction from Chitta, Buddhi is described as Vijnana, Dravya Spurana Vijnana, that which manifests an object. So, how? Chitta also reveals us something, Buddhi also reveals us something. But how to understand who is doing what function? Out of 28 elements of Bhagavad Sankhya, if you remember last class we discussed 28 elements. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and 24 elements. Out of this, Buddhi helps us understand anything that is made up of 23 elements other than Chitta. It's like proper Bhagavan. So basically, Buddhi enables us to understand anything that is made up of 23 elements all the way up to Ahankara. And Chitta enables us to understand the 5 super elements. Chitta, Prakriti, Kala, Jiva, and Ishvara. Anything that we want to know about these 5 things, we need to take shelter of Chitta. And anything that we want to know about the material world, we need to take shelter of Buddhi. So like that. But because it is also awareness, it is also said to be a quality of Chitta. Both Buddhi and Chitta are giving us awareness only. That's why, because it is also awareness, it is said to be a quality of Chitta also. Buddhi shows favor to the senses. Without Buddhi, that means without intelligence, the 5 senses cannot operate. The understanding is like this. Our 5 senses are collecting some raw information. But just raw information does not help. That raw information is analyzed and ascertained what is what by Buddhi. For example, here in front of me, I have a red color table. Upon that, a black color laptop. And in front of me, a blue color chair and a brown color carpet, etc. is there. So when I see all these things, I am seeing through eyes. But it is my Buddhi, my intelligence will analyze what is what. This brown color looking one is a chair. The red color, the brown color wala is a carpet. The red color wala is a chair. And red color wala is a table. Black color wala is a laptop. This is all. The intelligence will ascertain what is what. Because intelligence is already trained from childhood. Since childhood, like small children keep asking the parents, Mama, mama, what is this? Papa, papa, what is this? So when the parents tell what is that, they will store it. That's called smruti. The smruti function of intelligence is the smruti stores what is what. It keeps the information of what is what. When the same object comes in front of us, the intelligence compares with the previous experience. And then it tells, okay, this red color wala is a small table. The other one, light gray color wala is the chair. This is carpet which is in brown color, etc. etc. Brown color in a particular shape, particular thickness, width, length, and all. So all this information is stored in the is already collected by intelligence in the past also. When the same thing again comes in front of us, it ascertains what it is and then informs us. That is the function of buddhi. So buddhi tells us everything within three modes, and chitta tells us everything beyond three modes. And both function is telling us. Both function is to tell us what is what. And one is telling about things in the material world. Other one will tell us things behind the material world. So in that way, even though chitta, ahankara, and mind also assist the senses, buddhi gives special assistance. So now one example is given. When you are in deep sleep, for example, in the afternoon at 1 o'clock, you had nice lunch. I'm taking the example from the point of view of temple in the brahmachari ashram or something like that. So one had nice lunch at 1 o'clock, and one slept in Muchukunda Hall. The hall name is also Muchukunda Hall. The Muchukunda Hall is the room just above our base classes. So there we have a dormitory hall where brahmacharis can take rest. It is a kind of little comparatively dark room so that one gets sleep nicely. So one sleeps and time gone. It's already 4:30. At 4:30 in the Lakshmana temple, the conch shell is blown. The person in deep sleep. But when the conch shell is blown, it is a buddhi which is still awake, even though it's like the understanding is given like this. In daytime, all the 24 elements are awake. They're all active. When we go to sleep, our gross body becomes inactive. Only the subtle body is active. Within subtle body, mind is going through a lot of dreams. So the mind produces a lot of dreams, and in the dream, one is enjoying in a different way, etc. etc. Subtle body is still awake. But when actually goes into deep sleep, even the subtle body all the way up to Ahankara becomes inactive. Once Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, all these 8, 10, 13 elements becomes completely inactive. The gross body made up of earth, water, fire, ether, Shabda, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, they are inactive. And these are, and 23 elements are completely inactive in deep sleep. But only two things are active. One is breathing. We still continue breathing in the deep sleep. Second thing is our chitta is still active. Chitta does not go to sleep in the deep sleep condition. Chitta is still awake. That's why when we are in deep sleep at 4, when Lakshminarayana Mandir Pujari blew conch shell, it is first the chitta hears that some sound is coming. When I hear a sound, first it is registered by chitta as simply awareness. Chitta becomes alert, some sound is produced. Then chitta awakens the buddhi. Then buddhi starts analyzing what kind of sound is that. When buddhi becomes active and it observes the sound, if it is conscious sound, the buddhi will tell the conscious sound. If it is some sound coming from Govinda's kitchen, the buddhi will tell it that some mixy sound is coming from Govinda's kitchen. Or if it is some sound coming from the vehicle which is traveling on the road, the front side of the temple, then the buddhi will tell it is the sound of the vehicle, car or bus or lorry or whatever. That buddhi will analyze and tell that, okay, this is a sound produced from conch shell, produced from bus, produced from mixie or whatever, or fan, like that. And then by the mind, I develop desire for the sound. So mind will tell, a sound acha hai, suno. Or mind, if sound is not good, mind will tell, don't hear. Close your ears, or close the door, close the window, something like that. Or shout at that person, stop the sound, stop the noise. That mind will still. So by the mind, I develop desire for the sound. By ahankara, it becomes related to one's identity. Ahankara actually final decider. Ahankara will tell. If it is conscious sound, then Ahankara will tell, hey, get up, 4:30 ho gaya. You can get up and take bath and go and take darshan and do whatever other services, pending services are there, do it. Or if it is some lorry sound or bus sound or some mixed sound, the Ahankara will say that, shut off all the doors and sleep. It is still 3:30 only. Sleep till 4:30, something like that. So this is how all these elements, they talk about their functions. Chitta first is awake in the deep sleep, so it becomes aware of some sound. It tells Buddhi to tell what it is, what sound is that. Buddhi will tell what kind of sound it is, and mind will tell whether to continue with that or not. And Ahankara will tell whether the sound is related to me or not. So something like that. Or if not that, if it is alarm sound, if there is two possibilities of alarm. One alarm I only kept, one alarm the next person who is sleeping next to me he kept. If the alarm kept by me is ringing sound, then Ahankara will tell, hey, aapka alarm, get up, time ho gaya. If it is somebody else's alarm, the Ahankara will tell that, don't disturb, shut off the alarm, something like that. So whatever we perceive, its connection with respect to us and what to do afterwards, it is all decided by Ahankara and mind. So like that. So this is how these elements are functioning within our personality. Indriyani paranya hor indriyabhya param manaha imanasastu para buddhir yo buddhe parasastu sa. The senses along with intelligence are considered superior to the dull matter. The dull matter made of Panchamahabhutas are inferior. Superior to them are 5 Jnanendriyas along with the intelligence. Okay. But mind along with ego is superior to the senses. Because senses are awake during Jagrata state and mind is awake even during Swapna state. Even when we are sleeping, the senses become inactive, but mind is remaining active only. So but the mind is superior to the senses as it is even stronger and active during dreams when the senses do not function. But compared to mind and ego, buddhi, here buddhi means chitta, is even stronger. This buddhi cannot be translated as intelligence because intelligence came along with the senses. Intelligence always accompanies senses. The buddhi word is sometimes used in the Bhagavatam for chitta, sometimes used for intelligence. But here buddhi should be used for chitta. So chitta is even stronger. That's why I said, na, in deep sleep, even mind and ego goes to sleep. It goes to inactive state. But consciousness, chitta cannot go to inactive state. Chitta remains active even in deep sleep. During deep sleep, even the mind does not function, but the chitta remains active. But compared to chitta, the famous Jivatma is superior because it is in Turiya state. Superior to Jivatma is Paramatma because he is in Vishuddha Sattva platform. So this is the hierarchy. The 5 gross elements, superior to them are senses along with intelligence. Superior to them is mind and ahankara. Superior to them is chitta. Superior to chitta is jivatma. Superior to jivatma is paramatma. So like that. This is the hierarchy. So here you can see the chariot body analysis. Atmanam ratinam viddhi shariram ratamev cha buddhim tu sarasim viddhi manaparagameva cha indriyani ahanyaho vishayam teshu gocharan atmendriya mano yukto bhokteti ahurmanishina. Know the Atma is the passenger. Atmanam ratinam viddhi. Atma is the passenger. And the body is the chariot. Shariram ratamevacha. Know that chitta and intelligence is the driver. Here, buddhim tu sarathim viddhi. Here, buddhi need to be translated as chitta and intelligence coming together. Manas Paragamevacha. The mind and ego is the reins. Indriyani Ahanyahur. The five senses are called the five horses. And the five sense objects are called the five pasturing grounds. Vishayam Teshu Gochara. Gochara means Gocharan karne ke liye jaane wala jagah. The wise say that the enjoyer is the Atma, connected with the senses and the mind. Atmendriya Manoyukto. Atma, Indriya और मन के साथ connect होके Bhokta iti ahur manish. The intelligent people will say that he becomes Bhokta. So like that. He is the enjoyer. So Atma is the enjoyer in association with mind and senses. So like that. So this is the chariot body analysis. Then there is one more verse comes in the Bhagavatam 7th canto 15th chapter. So this previous verse is from Katha Upanishad, which Srila Prabhupada quotes in Bhagavad Gita. This is from Bhagavatam itself. Aho shariram vratam indriyani. Aho shariram vratam indriyani. Aya nabishunmana indriyesham. Vartmani matra dishanam cha sutam. Satvam bruhad banduramisha shrishtam. It says that the jnanis say that the body is chariot. Shariram ratam. The senses are the horses. Indriyani hayan. The mind, the master of the senses is the reins. Adishun mana indriyesham. Adishu means the reins. Mind is indriyesham, the master of the senses. The object of the senses are the destinations or paths. Vartmani matra. Five tanmatras are the five paths to go. Intelligence, Dishanam, is the chariot driver. Dishanamsa Sutam. The Suta is chariot driver. The intelligence is the Suta. And the consciousness which spreads throughout the body, made by the Lord, is the seat for the charioteer. Bandhuram. Sattvam Bruhad Bandhuram Isha Srishtam. So in the Bhagavatam it says that the intelligence is the driver, but the seat of the driver is Chitta. Chitta is the seat of the charioteer. That's how in the Katha Upanishad we have to take the Sarathi as both Buddhi and Buddhi, which says intelligence and Chitta, Buddhi and Chitta. And here Sarathi is Buddhi and Chitta is the seat of Buddhi. So like that. The place where Buddhi is situated is Chitta. So like that. So different references from Bhagavatam we can see how these elements are indicated. The Chitta is called large, Bruhat, because it pervades the entire body. It is the seat for the charioteer. Without the Chitta, the body becomes incoherent. The creator of the seat and others is the Supreme Lord. It is Supreme Lord who is creating all these elements. So like that, we need to understand all these elements. So any questions till now? Because this is some settled sensitive topic. Any questions?
No, Prabhuji.
Other devotees?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हाँ
प्रभु जी जो एनोलॉजी आपने दिए थे लास्ट इसका पहले वाला जो पीपीटी में वो जो टेम्पल हॉल में जो डिवोटीज होते हैं वो एक बार थोड़ा अहंकार और चित्त का जो डिफरेंस है वो समझ नहीं पाए, थोड़ा एक बार एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं?
See, I told that in deep sleep, even Ahankara is sleeping. Ahankara becomes inactive. The mind becomes inactive. Intelligence becomes inactive. Senses become inactive. Gross body becomes inactive. In the deep sleep, we forget who we are. In one sense, the only two elements are active are one is breathing. The breathing will be going on. our chitta is still active.
Breathing
We
in
are still
chitta is
conscious. We are not dead. We are not dead completely, but we are still conscious. So, if the devotee is sleeping in Muchkunda Hall, the adjacent Lakshmana temple say we get conscious blowing sound. So chitta becomes aware of some sound, but
Okay.
chitta does not tell what kind of sound it is. Then chitta awakens the buddhi. Then buddhi analyzes what kind of sound is. Buddhi tells whether the sound is coming from the conscious from the temple, or sound is coming from the mixie from the Govindas, or sound is coming from the car on the roadside. Buddhi will tell. If at all, if it is conscious sound, buddhi tells this is conscious sound. Then the mind is happy to hear conscious sound, but mind is not happy to hear mixy sound or
Car sound. Vehicle
car
sound.
sound. So in that way. So mind develops a desire, either good desire or bad desire. Then ahankara will tell whether it is connected to me or not. If for devotees, the conscious sound is connected. In one sense, is already 4:30. Get up, मेरे को सेवा का time हो गया. For example, the devotee might add seva for kirtan during the arati time. He still is sleeping, so he suddenly gets up. It's already 4:30 हो गया. I am supposed to do kirtan, so he suddenly gets up and quickly washes face washes and goes for kirtan. If it's some arti and all is there, he will take bath and go whatever. But for now, we'll say like that. He quickly washes face and then goes to temple hall to participate in the kirtan because he's supposed to be in the kirtan, something like that. So, like this, all these four elements with the help of each other will make us aware of something and inform us what to do next. So like that.
Okay. Thank you. Prabhu.
So now, senses. Till now, Mahatattva, Chitta, Ahankara, Man, Buddhi are over. Now, senses. Taijasanindriyanyeva. Hare Krishna.
Taijasanindriyanyeva
Kriya Jnana Vibhagasha.
kriya jnana vibhagasah
Pranasya hi Kriya Shaktir.
pranasya hi kriya shaktir
Buddher Vijnana Shaktita.
buddhir vijnana shaktita. Egoism in the mode of passion produces two kinds of senses: the senses for acquiring knowledge and the senses of action. The senses of action depend on the vital energy, and the senses of acquiring knowledge depend on intelligence.
All the senses, both action senses and all the senses, Jnanadeyas and Karmendriyas, arise from Taijas Ahankara. Taijasana Indriyanyeva Kriya Jnana Vibhagasha. Jnana means Jnanendriyas, Kriya means Karmendriyas. All of them appear from Taijasa Ahankara. Since the prana impelling the action senses possesses Taijasa Kriya Shakti, and Buddhi impelling the knowledge senses possesses Taijasa Vijnana Shakti. So it's basically the Jnanendriyas are closely connected with Buddhi, possessing Vijnana Shakti. The Karmendriyas are closely connected with Pranas, possessing Kriya Shakti. This is their connection. From false ego in Rajas also appears 10 senses. Ahankara in Rajas gives rise to both knowledge acquiring senses and action senses. So this is because the prana has Kriya Shakti, which is Tejasa. Thus the action senses which also have Kriya Shakti possess Tejasa. Because of the predominance of Rajas in Buddhi, when acting with knowledge of distinctions, it also considered Tejasa, that the knowledge senses are also considered Tejasa. Sometimes some may question why Jnanendriyas are part of Tejasa Ahankara. Why Buddhi is part of Tejasa Ahankara? Because they are revealing you the knowledge, they should be part of Jnana Shakti. Why they are part of Kriya Shakti? Because the senses always active to accumulate new and new information. The mind is always active to analyze the information accumulated by senses. because they normally possess the passionate nature. As a result of that, they are included in the Kriya Shakti of Ahankara. They are included in the Taijas Ahankara, not in the Satvik Ahankara. So that's how they are said to be Taijas Ahankara. That is the understanding. So these are the senses. We have 5 Jnanendriyas to hear various sounds, to touch various sensations, to see various forms, to taste various tastes, to smell various fragrances, to speak various words, to collect or give away various things, to walk from one place to another place, to procreate children, to expel the excrete, the waste products. So Jnanendriyas will receive information, Buddhi analyzes, mind stores the experience, ego experiences. Then, when ego demands newer experiences, ego makes an order to mind, and mind expresses the desire of ego to pranas, and prana empower the karmendriyas, and karmendriyas perform action to get the desired objects. So this is how our subtle body functions. Collection, analysis, experience, and saving the experience. New demands, new instructions, new instigations, and performance of action, and collecting new sense objects. So like that, our senses are performing actions in relation to our mind, intelligence, and ahankara. This is how our subtle body functions. Here is one example is there. Any object that is there in front of us, it possesses all these 5 forms. Whether it could be object or a person who is standing in front of us, they will have a form, they will also speak, their body also produces some fragrance, their body also has some particular touch, and there is some taste also. If there is an object, for example, prasadam plate, Sunday lunch prasadam, it has taste. And I am here, and I have 5 senses. I have my eyes, ears, nose, skin, tongue, etc. So, the information from the object to my senses, my sensory gross organs, it will come with the help of the 5 Panchamahabhutas. For example, there is a farm. It's like in front of me, there is a chair at a distance of 5 meters away. I'm able to see because there is a light all around. If there is no light, I can't see it. Similarly, somebody speaks nearby. I'm able to hear their sound because there is ether all over. If there is no ether all over, I cannot hear their sound. The sound transmits through ether. So something like that. So the information is transmitted from the object to my 5 gross organs in my body through the medium of 5 Panchamahabhutas. Then from these 5 organs, the eyeball, the ear, the nose, the skin, and the tongue, the information will be taken from these sense organs to my heart, where buddhi is there. That will be done by 5 jnanendriyas. I have 5 jnanendriyas. The 5 jnanendriyas take the information which is collected by my gross eye to my heart. So this gross eye in Sanskrit it is called Akshini. The subtle eye which takes the information from this gross eye to my heart is called Chakshu. This Chakshu is Jnanendriya. The Akshini is gross sense organ, which is made up of earth, water, fire, ether. This is part of gross body only. This eyeball is part of gross body. The ear, Karna, which is on the outside, that is part of the gross body. But the mechanism by which I can hear the sound entering into this ear hole, going all the way up to heart, that is called Shrotra. That is the subtle sense organ. That is Jnanendriya. And it is heart, which is it is the buddhi, which is in the heart, will analyze what is what I have collected from these senses, what kind of information is that, it will analyze. So it's like that. So in this way, Tanmatra, the 5 properties of any object or any person belonging to Adibhuta category, and 5 Panchamahabhutas belongs to Adibhuta category, will transfer that information from here to here under the supervision of sense devata, who is called Adi Deva. and they are received by Adibhuta, the gross sense organ, which is part of Adibhuta. And then, with the help of Adhyatma, the subtle sense organ, the information is carried from the gross sense organ to the heart. And in the heart, Buddhi is there, Antakarana, which will analyze the information received by these 5 Jnanendriyas. So, like that. The same thing. The 5 Jnanendriyas collect the information, Buddhi analyzes, mind is the storehouse of the experiences, mind stores the experience, Ahankara the experiencer. If Ahankara demands newer and newer experiences, so mind, Ahankara orders mind, and mind expresses the desire of Ahankara to Prana, and Prana instigates the actions, and 5 Karmendriyas perform the actions to obtain the sense objects. So this is the general activity happens. Generally, the activity happens within our personality. So whatever is shown here is the subtle body, and subtle body is connecting the one side gross body, other side chitta. Chitta connects the subtle body with spirit soul, and spirit soul responds to the super soul. Subtle body is called jnana, chitta is called vijnana, gross body is achetana. So something like that. So these elements, the normal hierarchy is like this. If a person is in the spiritual consciousness, this is the hierarchy. The super soul guides spirit soul guides chitta, chitta guides subtle body guides gross body, and gross body interacts with the external world accordingly. But in our conditioned state, the hierarchy is like this. Subtle body takes the lead role and it controls chitta and guides gross body and performs all the activities, and subtle body is only itself trying to enjoy. So basically, what do you mean by subtle body? That means our identity is with respect to the gross body in which we are residing. Our identity is with respect to the qualities emulated by our subtle body. The people say that I am a human being, and they say that I am the intelligent person. The intelligence is the quality of subtle body. I am Buddhiman. Or some people may say that I am Kalakar. I am an artist. I am a singer. I am a dancer. I am this. I am that. These are all abilities of the subtle body. So that's how, based on the abilities of subtle body, one identifies oneself with particular upadhi. That's why, as of now, our subtle body is leading us because it is giving us some misidentity, doership mentality. So, as a result of that, we are bound in this material world. But when, by our spiritual practices, when our chitta becomes strong enough and chitta can overpower the influence of subtle body, then chitta can guide subtle body, and then we can use our subtle body and gross body for spiritual progresses. So that's how the hierarchy is supposed to be changed. So like that. Any questions till now, Hare Krishna? Haribol?
No question, Prabhuji.
No
You are
questions.
able, you are able to follow or not?
No.
No questions means nothing understood.
Yes, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. So no problem. That subject is over now.
It's
Now everything
very
is theoretical only now.
concentrated.
Yes, Mataji.
It's very concentrated, Prabhuji. The simple what we observe every day, every time, and it is so complicated to know all the chain reaction between them and the
At
qualities. Everything is so concentrated.
At least one time we should know. Generally, we take everything casually
Yes.
only because things are happening. We take them lightly. But at least one time we should analyze and study, try to understand.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So by now we discussed about 8 elements: Ishvara, Prakriti, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Mahatattva, and also Chitta, Ahankara, Buddhi, Manas, and then 10 senses. So we discussed in total 4 plus 4 plus 10, 18. 10 more are remaining. Out of 28, 10 more are remaining. The 10 more are 5 tanmatras and 5 gross elements. And now slowly we'll see. Tamasascha vikurvana
Tamasascha vikurvana
Bhagavad Virya Choditat
Bhagavat Virya Choditat
Shabdamatram Abhuttasman
Sabdamatram Abhuttasman
Nabashrotram tu Shabdagam.
Navasrotam tu Sabdagam. Translation. When egoism in ignorance is agitated by the sex energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the subtle element sound is manifested, and from sound come the eternal sky and the sense of hearing.
From the transformation of Ahankara in Tamoguna, inspired by the Lord's power as time, Kala Shakti, sound appeared. And from that, ether appeared. First comes from Tamasic Ahankara is sound. When sound comes, for the sound to go from one place to other place, the medium should be there. The medium is ether. Then ether appeared. And then the sound is heard by the ear. The ear is the receptacle of sound. Shrotram tu Shabdagam. So ear is also there. From Ahankara in the mode of ignorance arises sound. From sound arises ether. Inspired by the power of the Lord in the form of time, sound appeared. The ear arising from Tejas Ahankara perceives sound. Because ear already appeared in the previous verse, only we discussed how Jnanendras Karmendras appeared. So the Karmendriya, the Jnanendriya ear is able to perceive sound because sound is which is produced by a particular object far distant, it will come to all the way up to us with the help of ether. Then, so now in one verse, the Tanmatra and Panchamahabhuta are described, how they appear. The next two verses, one verse talks about the qualities of the Tanmatra, one verse talks about the qualities of the Panchamahabhuta. So like that. Then first verse talks about the qualities of Tanmatra. This talks about the qualities of Shabda. Arthashrayatvam Shabdasya. Hare Krishna.
Arthashraya Shabdasya
Drashturlingatvamev cha.
Drastorlingam iva cha Drastorlingvam iva cha
Tanmatratvam cha nabaso.
Tanmatratvam cha navaso
Lakshanam kavayo viduhu.
Lakshanam kavayo viduhu. Translation. Persons who are learned and who have true knowledge define sound as that which conveys the idea of an object, indicates the presence of speaker, screen from a view, and constitute the subtle form of ether. Hare Krishna.
The wise know the characteristics of sound as follows. What are the characteristics of sound? Expression of meaning. Artha ashrayatvam. When we hear something, every sound will indicate us some meaning of something. So, revelation of the seer of events. Drashtur lingatvam. Revelation of a seer of events. So this is understanding it. The explanation is given like this. Sukadeva Goswami is speaking Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. But when a personality like Sukadeva Goswami is speaking Bhagavatam, Harikatha, a pastime specifically, while he is speaking, the pastime is actually revealed to him within the core of his heart. He is actually speaking what he is seeing. From Sukadeva Goswami's point of view, he is speaking what he is seeing. But from the hearer's point of view, hearer like Parikshit Maharaj. So when Parikshit Maharaj is hearing what Sukadeva Goswami is speaking, he understands that what Sukadeva Goswami is speaking is what he is seeing. So that is understanding. The revelation of the seer of events. Here seer is Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami is seeing something and speaking about it. And Parikshit Maharaj hearing and is understood that this particular pastime is revealed to Sukadeva Goswami within the core of his heart and is simply repeating what he is observing. In relation to spiritualists, this is what happens with sound. And it is a subtle form of ether. In relation to our material day-to-day dealings, the sound reveals the meaning of a object, the meaning of an activity, the meaning of the person, whatever. Our sound will tell that I am sitting. That means I am sitting. That is understood by hearing that. So something like that. I am coming. That means the person is coming close to you. That is understood. When we hear some sound, that sound carries a particular meaning corresponding to a action or entity or object, etc. So these are the two objects of sound. Sound expresses meaning and reveals the seer, such as Vyasadeva or Sukadeva Goswami, who sees the pastimes of Lord Rama and Lord Krishna. Or it reveals the speaker who may be behind a wall. It is a subtle form of ether. Even if somebody is making some sound other side of the wall, even though we may not see them, but just by hearing the sound, we can understand who is there. That is the glory of sound. So like that. So these are the qualities of sound. Next, qualities of ether. Bhutanam chidradhatratvam
Bhutanam chidradhatratvam
bahir antarameva cha
Mahir antaram eva cha
pranendriyatmadishnatvam
Jnanendriyatma dishnatvam
nabaso vritti lakshanam.
Navaso vritti lakshanam. The activities and characteristics of the ethereal element can be observed as accommodation for the room, for the external and internal existence of all living entities, namely the field of activities of the vital air, the senses, and the mind.
Yeah. The characteristics of ether according to its actions are to provide space for the living entities internally and externally. Bhutanam chidra dhatritvam bahir antaram evacha. All of us are living in the ether only. We are standing on the surface of the earth, and the earth is situated in the ether, and we ourselves also occupy some ethereal space based on our dimensions. We may be 1 by 1 feet, the cross section, height about 6 feet. That means 6 by 1 by 1 or 6 by 1 by 1.5. That is the space we are occupying. That much space is given by ether to us. So like that. And in addition to that, we may have a vehicle, we may have a home. They also occupy some space in the ether. So that much space is given to us by ether. So like that. Internally and externally. And to act as the base for prana. So ether acts as the basis for prana because it is the ether only in which the pranas are situated, especially the winds are situated. From winds we breathe. From breathing we sustain our pranas. By sustaining our pranas, we can sustain our life, we can perform various activities, etc. Thus, to act as the base for the prana, senses and mind is the function of ether. The Prabhupada writes in the purport that so after living so much time in the crowded cities like Bombay, when you go to open places such as Triambakeshwar, etc., you feel, or Jugordhaniko village or Triambakeshwar, etc., the open space filled with a lot of trees and mountains, one experiences so much freshness that is required. So free space provides a lot of rejuvenation. Occasionally, we should visit such kind of places, like that Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, because they enliven our pranas, our senses, and our mind. So like that. It gives space to the living entities, a place for internal and external actions. Internal means our whole body, external means all our belongings. We may have a mobile, we may have a laptop, we may have a book, table, chair, bed, rooms, and building, car, all these things also require some space. That space is also given by ether. It is the shelter of prana, senses and mind in the form of space for nadis, etc. So the pranas are inside our body, the senses are inside our body, the mind is inside our body. So for all of them, there is a special space is given, allocated. That is all provided by ether only. These are all characteristics according to the conduct of ether. So basically the primemost functionality of ether is providing space for all of us. That is the important thing. And sound reveals the meaning of the word spoken by a person, and the sound reveals the pastime seen by the speaker of the Bhagavatam. So like that. As a pure devotee, like Sukadeva Goswami, Srila Vyadeva, etc. So next, first sound appeared, from sound ether came, from ether comes touch. Nabasa Shabda Tanmatrat
Nabasha Shabda Tanmatrat
Kala Gatya Vikurvataha
Kalagatya Vikurvataha
Sparsho Bhavattato Vayos
Parsho Bhavattato Vayus
Vak Sparshasya Cha Sangraha.
Vak Sparshasya Sangragaha. From ethereal existence which evolves from sound, the next transformation takes place under the impulse of time, and thus the supple element touch and thence the air and sense of touch becomes prominent.
From the transformation of ether, whose tanmatra is sound, by the influence of time, touch appeared, sparsha appeared. And for the touch sensation to go from one place to other place, we need air. In Mumbai, now all of you might be experiencing the hot wave, the touch of hot wave. So I am in Bangalore. It rained heavily last week. So I'm experiencing cold wave here. So like that. That the touch sensation will be carried from one place to other place with the help of air, vayu. Skin is the sense organ to receive the touch, like that. From ether comes touch, and from touch comes skin. From the ether, whose tanmatra is sound, arose touch. Skin received the sensation of touch. It means the skin sense organ is the cause of receiving the touch. So in that way. Now there are two things. One is parsha, that is touch. Second one is air, wind. So both have certain qualities. The qualities are mentioned in the next two verses. The sparsha, the qualities of sparsha. Mrudutvam mrudutvam katinatvam cha.
Mridutvam katinatvam cha
Saityam ushnatvam eva cha.
Saityam Ushnatvam eva cha
Etas sparshasya sparshatvam.
Etat Sparshasya Sparshatvam
Tanmatratvam nabasvataha.
Tanmatratvam Nabashvataha. Softness and hardness and cold and heat are the distinguishing attributes of touch, which is characterized as a subtle form of air.
The main characteristics of the touch are softness, hardness. When we touch some object in front of us, so we go through these experiences, whether it is soft or hard, cold or heat. And it also acts as the tanmatra of air. The main characteristics of touch are softness, hardness, cold and heat, and it is tanmatra of air also. So then, air qualities. Chalanam vyuhanam praptir.
Chalanam Vyuhanam Praptir
Netratvam dravya shabdayo.
Netratvam Dravya Shabdayo
Sarvendriyanam atmatvam.
Sarvendriyanam Atmatvam
Vayo karma bilakshanam.
Vayo karma vilakshanam. The action of air is exhibited in movements, mixing, allowing approach to the objects of sound and other sense perceptions, and providing for the proper functioning of all other senses.
The distinctive qualities of air are its actions of moving. Chalana means air moves from one place to other place. Gathering, while moving, it collects some dry objects, the dry leaves, dry twigs, and the dry papers, etc. Conjunction means prapti, leading sense object to the sense organ, netrutvam draveshabdayo, and giving life to the senses. Sarva indriyana atmatvam. That means it is based on wind also we breathe. It is only when we breathe, our whole body remains alive, active. That is also one of the function of wind. The air provides movement as moving the branches of tree. Air keeps moving, but how do we know that air is moving? The branches of the tree will move when the air is moving. Otherwise, branches of the tree will remain intact. It causes association, as in bringing grass together. When the air is moving, it brings the dry grass together. The dry leaves, twigs, dry paper, and all come together. It causes cohesion of an object as one unit. So that means air dries up. So that is understanding. It brings sense objects such as coldness or fragrance to the organs such as ear, skin, and nose. So the air does three things. It is the air or wind brings the sound from one place to other place. Even though ether is the actual carrying via medium, but within the ether air is there. In whichever direction air is there, the sound goes first in the direction. Air actually accelerates the movement of sound. And air also brings the coldness or heatness touch sensation. And air also brings the fragrance from the garden to our nostril. Around temple, if we have a small flower garden, early in the morning hours, so during japa time, the wind slowly brings in the fragrance from the garden to our nostril. So it's like that. So in this way, the bringing sound, bringing touch sensation, and bringing fragrance from place A to place B is done by air. It should be understood that movement, association, and bringing the sense object to the senses are all particular types of conjunction. They are also called prapti. Prapti means to get something. When the wind brings the fragrance from the garden to our nostril, so we are getting something. There is also kind of prapti siddhi. When the sound is coming from an object in the direction of the airflow, we get to hear, that is also prapti. The touch sensation also coming from outside the building to inside the building, whether cold breeze or hot breeze, that is also prapti. So like that. Air brings life to all the senses. These actions of air are its distinctive features. It is the air from which we are breathing. By breathing only, we are sustaining ourselves. All our senses are sustained by breathing only. So in that way, air has important role to play in our life. So like that. These are the various qualities and activities of air. Next, from air there comes form, rupa. Vayoscha sparsha tanmatrat.
Vayoscha sparsha tanmatrat.
Rupam daiveritadabhut.
Rupam daiveritat abhut.
Samuttitam tatastejas.
Samuttitam tatat tejas.
Chakshu rupopalambanam.
Sakshurupopalambanam. By the interactions of the air and the sensations of touch, one receives different forms according to destiny. By evaluation of such forms, there is fire, and the eye sees different forms in color.
From air, whose tanmatra is touch, under the influence of time, arose Form. So basically, from air comes form. From form arose fire. For the form to go from one place to other place, there should be light. The light in the form of fire or Surya or Chandra, whatever that came. The eye perceives the form. So like that. From air comes form. From form comes fire. So like that. So now the qualities of form and then the qualities of light are mentioned in the next two verses. The qualities of form. Dravyakrtitvam gunata.
Dravyakrititam gunata.
Vyakti samstatvam cha.
Vyakti samstatvam eva cha.
Tejastvam tejasa sadvi.
Tejasvam tejasa sadvi.
Rupamatrasya vrittaya.
Rupamatrasya vrittaya. My dear mother, the characteristics of form are understood by dimension, quality, and individuality. The form of fire is appreciated by its effulgence.
The qualities of form are providing a particular shape. Dravya akrititvam. Every object has a unique shape, allowing perception through qualities such as dimensions. Every object has a particular shape and every object has a particular dimensions and every object has a certain quality like smoothness, roughness, coarseness, brightness, and different complexion, different color. All these things are there for any object. And allowing the perception of size, Vyakti Samsatvam, and it is a Tanmatra of fire. So these are the qualities of Rupa. Rupa or form provides shape for objects. It is perceived by secondary aspects of the object. Sound is perceived independently. So what do you mean by this? The meaning is perception of an invisible substance by touch also shows independence. Sometimes some objects are not clearly visible, but when you touch, they become visible. For example, a transparent glass. Sometimes we may not pay attention, so you don't see it only. Even though it is there, you don't see. But as you are walking, your face hits the glass. Then you start perceiving it. So that is some uniqueness of perception sometimes. Form, however, is not independent of qualities for its perception. It allows perception of an object's size. So a form gives us the idea of what are the dimensions of that particular object. It is a Tanmatra of fire. These are the qualities. So other aspects are the texture, color, and smoothness, roughness, coarseness, brightness, dullness. All these things can be perceived through form. So these are some of the qualities of form of an object. Along with the form, we also experience the dimensions. We also experience the smoothness, roughness of the surface, and brightness or dullness of the surface. And we also experience the complexion of the surface, reddish, whitish, bluish, yellowish. All these things can be experienced by form. These are the unique qualities of form. So next, light. It is only under the presence of light we can able to see all these things. But light not only shows things, it also does many other things like sunlight, moonlight, and fire, campfire, and all. They do many more other things. So they are all listed here. Jyotanam Pachanam Panam Adanam Himamardhanam
Adanam himamardhanam
Tejaso Vrittayasteta
tejaso
Shoshanam Kshutrudeva cha.
So Shoshanam Shukrideva cha. Fire is appreciated by its life and by its ability to cook, to digest, to destroy, cold, to evaporate, and to give rise to hunger, thirst, eating, and drinking.
What are the different roles and responsibilities of fire? Illumination. Fire illuminates. The sunlight is illuminating all over. Cooking. With fire we can cook. Drinking. So because there is so much digestiver within the stomach, we always feel thirsty. Drinking also. Eating, we always feel hungry. Eating. Relief from cold. Himamardhanam. In the winter, not so much in Bombay, but here in Mandi, it is too much. In the cold, without heater, we can't survive. So Himamardhanam are the qualities of fire, as well as drying hunger and thirst. It is the digestive fire which produces hunger and thirst. It is the sunlight which dries all our washed clothes. So in that way. The fire produces illumination. It cooks things, as in the case of rice. It produces hunger, thirst, eating, and cooking take place by fire. So like that. These are some of the qualities of fire. Then from fire comes taste, and from taste comes water. The water is the transporting via medium of taste. Everything that cook will have taste only if we add some water. Without water content, any object does not taste nicely in this world. Like that. Rupamatrad vikurvanat.
रूपमात्रात् विकुर्वाणात्
Tejaso daiva choditat.
तेजसो दैवचोटितात्
Rasamatram abhuttasmad.
रसमात्रम् अबुद्धस्मात्
Ambo jihva rasagraha.
अम्बो जीवारसग्रह.
Mataji, I will read the translation. By transformation of fire, whose tanmatra is firm under the influence of time, taste appeared. That means from fire, taste appeared. From taste, for the taste to go from one place to other place, the via medium water appeared. And tongue perceives the taste. It is our tongue which perceives the taste of various food items. From fire comes taste, and from taste comes water. Nice. Now, the qualities of taste. Kashayo madurastikta.
कषायो मधुरस्तिक्ता
Kat amla iti naikada.
आम्ल इति नैकदा
Bhautikānām vikārena.
भौतिकानां विकारेण
Rasa eko vividyate.
रस एको विविद्यते.
The one taste. Punyo gandha prithvyamcha. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. That rasa, the pure taste, transforms into many. The one taste divides into many by the transformation in combined substances and becomes astringent, sweet, bitter, hot, and sour, and also salty. So basically, the pure water has pure taste. But when we add some minerals to it, it acquires all these 6 kinds of tastes. What are they? Kashaya, Madura, Tikta, Katu, Amla, and Lavana. The 6th one is Lavana. So by adding some minerals to it, some additional items to that, the pure water becomes astringent or sweet or bitter or hot or sour or salty, like that. Salty taste should be added to the list. In the shloka, there is no salt mentioned, but it is added. Taste, which is actually only one, known as sweetness, rasoham apsu kaunteya. By combination of material objects, it is divided into many. So what are the many? The 6 tastes. So during Gudi Padwa in Maharashtra, we call it as Ugadi in Andhra, Telangana, and Karnataka and all. So there is a special preparation is made consisting of all the 6 tastes. That day we are supposed to eat that particular preparation consisting of 6 tastes. In a way, it is indicating that The next year, which is coming ahead, can be the combination of all different kinds of experiences. So get ready for them. Don't become elated when there is happy experience. Don't become morose when there is sad experience. Instead, take them honorably. Take all the experiences with great honor and respect. So that is the indication. So like that. So then water. The different qualities of water. Kledanam pindanam truptihi.
Kledanam pindanam triptihi.
Prananapyayanodhanam.
Prananapyo nadanam.
Tapapanoda bhuyasvam.
Tapapanodo bhuyasvam.
Ambaso vrittayastihma.
Ampaso vrityastu ima.
The qualities of water are moistening. Kledana means moistening. Especially in the rainy season, we can experience this. Even in the summer in the Bombay, when you start AC, you start experiencing moistening inside the room. Making balls. If you want to make chapati, you add some water to the atta, then you can make the balls. If you put atta only as a ball, it will not stay together. But when you add water, it will stay together. Causing satisfaction. When you drink water, you feel satisfied. Giving life. Pranana. Life only gives, our water only gives life to all of us. It is easy to survive without food 1-2 days, but difficult to survive without water. Water is very essential for all of us. So that gives life. Of course, food also required, but more important than food is water. Relieving thirst. Yeah, it relieves the thirst. It softens. When a hard substance is there, you add some water, it becomes soft. Extinguishing heat. Yeah, in summer, people nowadays they are having ACs, but in the past, people used to have air coolers. There is a water tank below, and there is a pump. That pump will lift the water to the top, and it will drop there in front of a fan. So when the fan is panka is revolving around, the water will be dripping down because of the flow of the fan. The water as a droplets, it will spread across the entire room. So like that. Thus, it will remove the heat in the entire room during the summer. And being plentiful. So water is so much. So we have so much oceans on the surface of the earth. 71% of the surface of the earth is occupied by the ocean water. Only 29% surface is left behind. So there is plenty amount of water. Or maybe sometimes we may face a problem with the rainwater and all, but water in general in the form of ocean is plenty. There is no extinction of water in that sense. It is moistening, causes formation of a globe and gives satisfaction. It gives life. Shruti says, Apo Maya Pranaha. Life consists of water. So our life is sustained based on water and other preparations with the help of water. It relieves thirst. It makes things soft. It is plentiful. One can go again and again to a well to take water. So of course, this is the old commentary. The well water never ends. As much as water you can take out from the well only. But nowadays it's not situation. Nowadays all the wells are dried up because we have exploited the well water so much. So no water left. So like that. So this is the way. So the qualities of all these elements one by one are described. Then the last one, the last element is Gandha and then earth. We'll just see these two verses and we'll stop for today. Rasamatra Vikurvanad
Rasamatrapi kurvanat.
Ambaso Daiva Choditat
Ampasodaiva choditat.
Gandhamatram Abhutasmat
Gandhamatram abhuttasmat.
Prithvi Ghanastu Gandhaga.
Prithvi granastu gandhaga.
From transformation of water, whose tanmatra is taste, by the influence of time, arose smell, gandha appeared. From smell arose earth, For the smell to move from one place to other place, we need earth. The understanding is 1 grain of basmati rice has little smell. When you sow it, it produces a basmati rice plant. It produces 200 basmati grains. The smell increased 200 times from 1 grain to 200 grains. The same way, when you sow a flower plant, that flower plant produces hundreds of flowers, and every flower has so much fragrance. So your earth and the plant, which is the transformation of the earth, acting as a transportation via medium of the increment of the fragrance from 1 seed to 100 seeds, 1 flower to 100 flowers, like that. And the nose perceives the smell, like that. Thus, from water comes smell, and from smell comes earth, the carrying via medium of the smell. Now, the qualities of the smell. Karamba puti saurabhya.
Karamba Saurabhya.
Shanto gramladi biprutak.
Shanto, Shanto Gramlibdha Pruthaka.
Dravya vaya vaishamyad.
Dravyavaya Vaishamyat.
Gandha eko vibhidyate.
Andayiko Vivadyate.
As Lord Krishna says, Punyo Gandha Prithvi Amcha. The Prithvi has only one fragrance. But because of the transformation, the one fragrance turns into many different varieties. The one smell is divided by combination of different substances. It becomes distinguished as mixed smell, foul smell, fragrant smell, mild smell, strong smell, or orchid amla. So these are a different variety of smells will come when there is transformation of the earth. Some plants produce good smell, some plants produce bad smell. The food when you cook, it produces good smell. The food when you leave it behind for one full day, it produces bad smell. So by the influence of time, by the combination of various entities, etc. Karamba means mixed smell, as in the cooking using hing and other spices. Puti means foul odor, like that. And then the qualities of earth. Pavanam Brahmanastanam.
Bhavanam Brahmanasthanam.
Dharanam Sadvisheshanam.
Dharanam Satvisheshanam.
Sarvasattva gunodbeda.
Sarvasattva Gunodveda.
Prithvi Vritti Lakshanam.
Tvi Vritti Lakshanam.
The qualities of earth are its use in production of deity forms. Bhavanam Brahmana, that means it is from earth we make deity form. What kind of deity forms? Sometimes we make Jagannath deity from wood. Sometimes we make Radha Gopinath deity from marble. Sometimes the deities are made brass deities from brass. The brass also coming from earth only. Even silver deities, golden deities, sometimes diamond deities, sometimes stone deities, and sometimes the painting and the paper, that is also transformation of the earth. So all these things, the first of all, earth in its various forms can be used to make the deity form, which is very much required for us, the bhakti practitioners. Its steadiness, tanam. The earth, because the Bhumandala is stable, the earth globe is stable, all of us are able to live here happily, construct homes and travel in our vehicles and all, etc. etc. Is there na Bhagavad Gita shloka? Gama Vishisha Bhutani Daryami Hamojasa. So by I enter myself into the Prithvi, as a result of that Prithvi becomes stable, as a result of that, everyone can make the residences upon the surface of the earth. They can make so many other things like the gardens, playgrounds, and roads, vehicles, and they can do hundreds of things on the surface of the earth because by my presence, earth is stable. If earth is not stable, earth becomes disintegrated into sand particles. Who can stay on the surface of the earth? If earth becomes like daldal, who will stay on the earth? No one can stay like that. That is tanam, steadiness. Its accommodating power. Earth can accommodate anyone. It can accommodate human beings, it can accommodate animals and everyone. Its ability to make other elements perceivable. It is by the presence of earth we can perceive all other elements. The next example is given in the notes. We'll see that. And its power to manifest differences in all beings and their qualities. It is by the different type of arrangement of the earth element we can see the variety. For example, the table is arranged in such a one way, the sofa is arranged in one way, the laptop is made in one way, mobile is made in one way, the bed sheet is made in one way, and everything. So different arrangement of the earth element will make it as a different entity. So that's called variety. Earth can produce lot of variety. So in that way, earth is used in creating the forms of the Supreme Lord. It remains in one condition, indifferent to the qualities of other objects such as water. It is the container for water. From earth we can make matka, water tanks, etc., so that water can stay at one place. It is the cause of distinguishing other elements such as sky. By the presence of earth we can say what is what. How? We perceive ether because of the contamination of earth, or for example, so we say ether, where is ether? When there are dust particles will flow in the ether. So we say that if this part of the sky is dusty and this part of the sky is cloudy, the cloud is also kind of condensed water, something like that. Or we perceive air because of the contamination with dust. So we say that, so when in the summer when there is wind is going on, the wind carries a lot of dust with it. So we can perceive the flow of the dust, the flow of the wind by the flow of dust. So like that. And it causes the manifestation with distinctions in all living beings and their qualities such as maleness, etc. So human being looks like one person, animals look differently, plants look differently, aquatics look differently, the objects which we use in our home look differently. That is all because of the different arrangement of the earth element. This Visheshana is the quality of the earth element. So this is how the elements, all the 24 elements have their distinct qualities, distinct characteristics based on their activities. The qualities and characteristics are all defined based on their respective activities. Activity is the most important thing. So we'll stop here and we'll continue next class from the next verse onwards. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam